Okay, Vortex. So what was I saying in the last video? It was so important. I was talking about addiction, and I was talking about narcissism. This girl I work with is addicted to TikTok and vaping and marijuana. A lot of people think you can't be addicted to marijuana. Oh, it's very possible, honey. If you can be addicted to chapstick, you can be addicted to marijuana. Anything that turns into a ritual is addictive. At least it definitely has the propensity to be habit forming. And if it turns into a habit, it's going to be astonishingly difficult to quit. Because a habit becomes a part of you. And you get attached to it, and then you start seeing yourself that way. Like, this is just what I do. This is just how I spend my day. This is who I am now. I think the coping mechanisms are the same way. It's just that with things like narcissism and with people that are like emotionally manipulative, it's a coping mechanism that stems from trauma, and a lot of the time people aren't even aware of that. At least with drugs and alcohol, say hi and bye. Say hi and bye. Hi, bye. Okay. A lot of the time with drugs and alcohol, you know, that stuff is obvious. I mean, I find it hard to believe that people that hide liquor bottles all over the house have no idea that they're an alcoholic. I just don't get that. I don't get how people that have incorporated a substance into their day-to-day life, and they cut out specific time for it, and they revolve their life around it, you know? And then gradually more and more of their day is devoted to it, and then they make excuses for it, and then they ruin stuff. Their devotion to the substance or the habit, whatever it is, causes them to destroy other things in their life that are of value to them, like their relationships, or perhaps their job, or their living situation. I would say that definitely qualifies as an addiction. When you're ruining other stuff, also you can keep doing one thing that's not even doing what you think it's doing for you. And yeah, it's probably not very good, but whatever. Problematic person. I know that the way that I live my life is very misunderstood. I know that sounds like such a fucking like Jeff Tweedy thing to say. Too many bumps in this damn road. It's upsetting. It's not a dirt road, right? At least we should thank Western civilization for that shit. Yeah, so the reason I say I'm misunderstood is because, like, I guess I have to explain this once again. That, like, I talk in such a way that's very offensive to a lot of people. You know, restaurant talk is very offensive to people that don't work in restaurants. I figured that out the hard way. Like, everybody in my restaurant swears. Well, not everybody, but most of the people in my restaurant swear all the time. They take the Lord's name in vain every 20 minutes, okay? Hold on, Vortex. We're going around this curve, and I'm trying to prevent my coffee from future spillage, okay? We don't want coffee spillage. That's a little thelonious. But anyway, yeah, restaurants, you really get to know people in a restaurant. You really get to know their work ethic. You really get to know, like, their childhood trauma. You really get to know their habits and their addictions and their coping mechanisms and all that. I would say that you know that in a place like a restaurant way better, because people that work in restaurants tend to be kind of fucked up. Like, I've met way more cluster B personality types in restaurants than like any place else, which is why I'm pretty good at figuring them out. But something that I've noticed is that, yeah, like, people outside restaurants don't talk this way. And comedians very nonchalantly talk about things that are pretty serious and fucked up. And well, thank you, FedEx. Thank you. Love you. Goodbye, FedEx. Oh, I guess you're sticking around. All right. It's cool. We get to stare at you the whole way. We're so lucky. We're so lucky to have you, FedEx. Anyway. Sorry, we got sidetracked. But yeah, I talk about stuff that I guess is, like, serious. Like I'm adopted, and I make a lot of, like, kind of off-the-cuff statements about that. It was a closed adoption. I don't know my birth mother. I don't want to find my birth mother online. I hate the whole fucking, like, I'm gonna go online and look up my birthrights and shit like that. That's so weird to me. I feel like if I'm supposed to know her, like, I'll meet her. But yeah, I make a lot of statements that are just, like, you know, non-serious. I joke a lot. But it's because I'm not, like, I'm a very serious person, but at the same time I'm not. Like, there's two sides of me. One of them is extremely passionate about the things I believe in, and another side of me is extremely childlike, and I just, you know, I'm pretty whimsical and weird, and it's just kind of weird to, like, be taken so damn seriously when, like, I've proven over and over again that I do comedy, but, you know, if I wasn't misinterpreted, like, you couldn't make the point that you think you're making, right? So, I mean, there's not much that you can do about somebody that keeps misinterpreting you. Also, so that they can feel good about themselves. If they feel like they're superior over you, or like they know you better than you know yourself. I mean, I don't think that there's like a perfect way to do anything. You know, I've always been pretty fucked up, but I've always known that I was fucked up. And there's no such thing as closure. You know, I don't believe in closure. I don't even believe that like people move on from anything. At least not for me, because like what I experience every day, and I'm sure that anybody that has something like borderline personality can relate to this, because it's very closely akin to PTSD, where you just like go in and out of different things that have happened to you, and you're just like talking with yourself about reality, or whatever you call this shit, okay? You're just processing things, you know? That's what I do all day, every day. I've done it all my life. And my YouTube channel is basically me showcasing that. And so there's no way that I couldn't know myself. There's no way that I couldn't, like, be pretty aware of what's going on with me. So, like, you know, somebody recently, like, they're trying to get to me. They're really trying to grind my gears. I know that they are, because they're bringing up stuff that, well, you know, I don't really get offended by very much, but the fact that people think that they can tell me what I should do about my birth mother. Like, a lot of people ask me this too. Like, a lot of people have asked me, well, have you ever tried to find your birth mother? It's like, that's such a personal question. And that's really like the most personal thing that you could ask somebody. Oh my gosh. Okay, we can go up to this car. Yay! Yay! Like, I'd actually rather not know. And maybe that's because I believe in God. Like, my faith leads me to think that, you know, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to have the answer. If you have faith that things will be revealed if and when they're supposed to be revealed, that you don't need to find that on your own. And like, it actually really pisses me off that people think that they can tell me that I should try to find my birth mother. Like, I need to talk to her because I need to know what happened and why she did that. Like, first of all, it's a closed adoption. It's a closed adoption, so obviously she didn't want me to have that information. You know, maybe she's changing her mind. Maybe she wishes that I would reach out or whatever the fuck, but like, I don't understand that. Like, anyway. No, but I can't tell you how many people have asked me that. They're like, well, have you ever tried to find your birth mother? Have you ever... I'm like, dude, like, why do I have to do that? You have any idea how many people grow up without a dad in this country? Would you ever ask them that? Have you ever tried to find your dad? Did you ever like try to track down your dad and ask him why he left you? Have you ever tried to track down your dad and ask him like why he cheated on your mom, or why he walked out on his family, and why he chose alcohol and drugs over you? You ever do that? I mean, people typically wouldn't ask somebody that. If they grew up without a dad, they wouldn't ask them that question because they'd know that that was like a painful thing. But whenever somebody's adopted, it's like, I guess people think that that's appropriate. And whatever. I mean, I'm not mad just because people are asking me a question, like this hard question. It's crazy to me how nonchalantly people ask that question. That is such a personal question that people ask so nonchalantly. And it's actually a boundary violation. Like, I actually feel like if I were to like try to find her through something like, what is that website? Ancestry.com or whatever the fuck. Like, what if she doesn't want to be found? What if she doesn't want me to know about it? Maybe the reason why she did that was because she didn't want people to know. But I don't expect somebody that doesn't believe in boundaries to understand that, you know? Because if you're using my birth mother and information about, you know, my coming into this world against me to try, like, for some sort of ammo, like, sometimes I pretend this is booze. And then make the statement that, oh, I don't know myself unless I know that specific thing. There's no way that you can know yourself if you don't know all the specifics about how you came into this world. Like, that's probably like the dumbest fucking statement. Anyway, I cannot engage with this person. I cannot engage with this person because they're very toxic. But yeah, like, a lot of the time when somebody says something to try to like egg you on, when somebody says something to try to ruffle your feathers, the worst thing that you can do is engage, you know? So even if your feathers get ruffled, I'd rather my feathers get ruffled over here than and analyze why my feathers are ruffled, rather than, you know, like, start throwing my feathers at you and get mad at you because you did that, you know? It's like, obviously, like, people that are doing that, they're trying to provoke you. It's like, why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? What's in it for you to do that? I don't purposely try to do that, ever. I mean, maybe on stage, but that's part of the art form. You want to ruffle people's feathers, why don't you just be a comedian? And then you get called racist just like the rest of